Hello everyone, welcome back to the Udal Casual. In today's video we are going quickly through the latest news about Chrono Odyssey, focusing in particular on a recent developer interview. If you are here just for the information themselves, feel free to skip ahead using the timestamp and jump straight to the section you are interested in. Now, for those of you who've been supporting the channel since the early days with feedback and helping me improve it, first of all, thanks. And you've probably already noticed that this is the very first time I'm using my own record voice for commentary. In previous video, many of you pointed out that AI voice didn't really get the tone right or deliver things clearly, so I'm trying something new to improve the content. Keep in mind I'm not a native English speaker and I know my voice might sound very bad, but I just wanted to give it a try anyway and see if it feels more natural than AI recorded voice. So let me know. Does this sound better than AI, or should maybe try a different AI tool? Or maybe the real issue is related to microphone or recording setup? I don't know, any feedback would be greatly appreciated. Alright, thanks again and let's jump in the video. Alright, in this video I'm not going to cover every single detail from the recent developer interview. If you're interested in the full context, I definitely recommend watching the original video. What I want to do here is focus on the gameplay clips they shared and highlight the most interesting part from a player's perspective. Let's start with character selection. We got a quick look at the Berserker and Assassin, including weapon types they can use, and a brief showcase of the character creation system. It looks like we'll have a lot of customization options, from facial feature to body types, which is always a great boost for immersion. Now talking about visuals, Chrono Odyssey is being built in Unreal Engine 5 and that really enhances the sense of immersion in every single location of the game. The lighting, environment design and character models all look incredibly polished. We also got a few wide angle shots of the world and I really hope the game lets us freely explore everything we see. I'd love for it to be a true open world, not just a pretty background. The devs said they're aiming for a dark fantasy tone, and that definitely comes through. There's an heavy, mysterious atmosphere to give the world a sense of danger and wonder. Now let's talk about gameplay. One standout feature is the Chrono Controller, a device that lets players manipulate time to uncover hidden paths, solve puzzles, and reveal lost fragments of the world. Even more interesting, Chrono Odyssey won't force players to level up through combat alone. You will be able to progress through crafting, gathering, and exploration, not just by fighting monsters. It reminds me a lot of newer leveling system, which gave players freedom to grow through the activities they enjoy. Now, the combat system, and this is where I'm both excited and a little cautious. The elite encounters and boss fights they showed looked very Souls-like. Heavy animation, dodge timing, and tight movement. It looks cool, but the pacing and the camera angles gave off more of a single-player action RPG vibe rather than a traditional MMO. That's not necessarily bad. It could make fight more personal and skill-based, but I hope it still blends well with the multiplayer system. They also put a strong focus on weapon swapping, which seems to be one of the core features of combat in Chrono Odyssey. You can equip two different weapons and switch between them in real time during fights. Each weapon comes with its own unique skill, passive, and playstyle, which open up a lot of possibility for flexible combat strategies. The developers designed the system around the idea of being easy to learn, hard to master, which I personally think is a great direction for an MMO. It means new player can jump in and do well with basic setups, while more experienced player will be able to create smart combination. What's really interesting is that weapon swapping isn't just a bonus feature, it's actually built into the core of the combat design. From what they've shown, even some of the early boss fights are designed to encourage or potentially require you to switch weapons mid-battle. As for solo content, the devs introduced two key features: Chrono Gates, where you'll face powerful enemy in 1 vs 1 battle, kind of like a boss rush mod, and Trials, where you travel through time to navigate trap puzzles and time-based challenges. Both systems seem like great ways to break up the standard combat flow and add more variety for solo players. Now for group content, they introduce expedition dungeons designed for small 3 to 5 player teams, and these aren't massive raids, they're more focused tactical experience that reward coordination and smart play. Another feature that really caught me my eyes was the region bosses, massive war bosses that spawn out in the open world. This is one of those classic MMO elements that, when done well, can create some of the most memorable moments in genre. You will have multiple group of players spontaneously coming together, each one trying to survive the chaos while contributing damage and supporting their own way. It's the kind of content that makes the world feel alive and reactive. They also introduce labyrinths, which are puzzle-based zones that give players a break from constant combat. These areas seem focused on exploration and solving puzzles, something slower and more peaceful, let's say. Exploration is clearly a big theme in Chrono Odyssey, and it's nice to see that curiosity will be rewarded, not just combat power. Another cool feature is the time portals. These let you collect rare materials, find bits of lore, and explore events from different timelines. It feels like a mix between treasure hunting and time travel. And if they do it well, I think it could be one of the most fun parts of the game. On the progression side, there's no fixed class. You create your character by choosing weapons and abilities that match how you want to play. They also showed a gear upgrade screen, and honestly, some of the icons and the interface here remind me a lot of New World. The colors, layout, and stats design felt very similar. Um, it made me smile at begin when I saw it, and I really hope they took the best part of New World's gear and crafting system. And finally, my biggest question and concern isn't about the quality of the game itself, which looks absolutely amazing. It's more about the type of the game will be. A lot of what we've seen feels more like a single RPG rather than an actual MMO. The camera work, the solo boss fights, and pacing all of that kind of RPG vibe. That's absolutely not a bad thing. Actually, it can be a way to make it work even better as an MMO. But we also need the strong multiplayer feature related things that make the world feel alive, shared, and connected. If they can balance freedom, exploration, good combat, and real community interaction, I think this can become something really special. Another important point, I think, is the balance, and another point of concern, let's say, it's the balance between solo and group content, which is something a lot of players, I think, are worried about. The game looks like it's offering both solo trials, chrono gates, plus group dungeons and region bosses, but the concern is that one side might end up being much more rewarding than the other. Personally, I'd love to see both solo players and group players being able to enjoy the game without feeling forced into the other path, the opposite path. So, let me know what you think in the comments about the game, about the video. As I already told you, this is the very first time I'm using my real voice instead of AI, so I'd really love to hear your feedback about that. Also, if you somehow manage to get the problem with the audio is related to the microphone or the recording setup, just let me know. Feel free to share that. So I really appreciate any kind of feedback. Thanks a ton for watching. If you enjoyed the video, found it useful, or you just want to support the channel, feel free to like, comment and subscribe. It helps a lot and it keeps me motivated. Have a great day and see you in next one. See you in the next one.